What if the most beautiful thing you have ever seen was also the deadliest? What if a simple necklace could hear your thoughts, follow your every move, and never let you go? It's just a necklace, she thought, until the child died, until the whispers started, until the curse chose her, and the curse is spreading. Find out what happens when Olamma only touched the necklace once. A long time ago, in the heart of a small Igbo village, there was a necklace so beautiful that anyone who saw it could not look away. The golden beads shone under the sun, and the small red jewel in the middle glowed like fire. But what no one knew was that the necklace carried a terrible curse. It all began with an old woman named Nena. She had lived in the village for many years, selling charms and herbs. One evening, she found the necklace buried near a deserted hut at the edge of the forest. The moment her fingers touched it, a cold shiver ran through her body. She knew something was wrong. "This is not an ordinary necklace," she whispered to herself. "It carries a dark spirit." And Nena wanted to throw it away, but the necklace was too beautiful. She took it home and hid it inside a wooden box. That night, she could not sleep. Strange whispers filled her hut. Shadows danced on the walls, though there was no fire. And then she heard a voice, soft but chilling. "You cannot keep me. I belong to the darkness." The next morning, Nena rushed to the village square to find the elders. She wanted to tell them about the cursed necklace, but before she could speak, her legs gave way. She collapsed in front of everyone, shaking violently. The people rushed to help her, but it was too late. Nena's eyes rolled back and she took her last breath. Gasps filled the air. Women covered their mouths. Children hid behind their mothers. "What happened to her?" someone asked. "She was fine yesterday," another said. But nobody had answers. No one saw the necklace hidden inside her hut, waiting for its next victim. The village mourned Nena's sudden death. The elders said she had lived a long life and her time had come, but nobody knew about the cursed necklace lying inside her hut, waiting. That night, a young girl named Olamma sat outside her mother's hut, braiding her little sister's hair. The moon was bright, casting long shadows across the village. Her mother, Nwakaego, walked past with a clay pot balanced on her head. "Olamma, go inside soon," she said. "The night is no friend to young girls." "Yes, Mama," Olamma replied. She finished braiding her sister's hair and stood up. As she turned, something caught her eye. A dim light flickering through Nena's open window. Olamma hesitated. The old woman's hut was supposed to be empty, so why was there light inside? She took a step closer. The air felt colder and a strange chill ran down her spine. She glanced back at her mother's hut. She should go inside, but curiosity pulled her forward. Slowly, she tiptoed toward Nena's hut and peered through the open window. Inside, the dim light flickered again, coming from a wooden box resting on a small stool. Olamma's heart pounded. Something inside that box was glowing. She took a deep breath, pushed the door open, and stepped inside. The room smelled of dried herbs and old wood. Everything was still, except for a faint humming sound coming from the wooden box. Olamma's fingers trembled as she lifted the lid, and there it was. A necklace so beautiful it took her breath away. Golden beads strung together with a single red jewel in the middle. The jewel glowed like an ember, pulsing softly as if it were alive. Olamma had never seen anything like it. Her hand moved on its own, reaching for the necklace. The moment her fingers touched it, a sharp, icy sensation shot up her arm. She gasped, snatching her hand back, but it was too late. A whisper filled the hut, curling around her like smoke. "You have found me, and now I am yours." Olamma stumbled back, her heart racing. The hut suddenly felt smaller, the walls pressing in on her. The whispering continued, soft but chilling, like a voice from the grave. She turned to run, but the door slammed shut. Olamma screamed. The wind howled outside. The candlelight flickered wildly. Shadows danced across the walls. Then, as suddenly as it started, everything went still. The door creaked open on its own. Olamma stood frozen, her breath coming in short gasps. The necklace lay inside the wooden box, silent and unmoving, as if nothing had happened. Her feet felt heavy, but she forced herself to move. She ran out of the hut, not stopping until she reached her mother's door. Her hands shook as she pushed it open and stepped inside. Her mother turned. "Olamma, what is wrong?" Olamma opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. She didn't know it yet, but from that moment, her life would never be the same again. The necklace had chosen her, and the curse had begun. Olamma barely slept that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she had whispers. Shadows shifted in the corners of her hut, and the air felt heavy, like something unseen was watching her. By morning, she convinced herself it was just her imagination, but deep inside, she knew something was wrong. She avoided Nena's hut all day, but no matter what she did, the necklace stayed in her thoughts. It was calling her, pulling at her mind like an invisible thread. By evening, she could not resist anymore. As the sky turned orange with the setting sun, Olamma found herself standing at Nena's door again. Her hands trembled as she pushed it open. The wooden box still sat on the stool. The necklace lay inside, quiet and still. Olamma's heartbeat quickened. She told herself she would only look at it one last time. Just one last time. She reached into the box and picked it up. The moment the necklace touched her skin, something cold rushed through her veins. The air around her grew thick, and then a scream! A blood-curdling scream tore through the village. Olamma dropped the necklace, her heart slamming against her chest. The scream came from outside. She ran out of the hut. A crowd had gathered near the village square. Women clutched their wrappers tightly. Men stood frozen. In the middle of the square lay a young boy, Chetachi. His body was still. His eyes were wide open, but they saw nothing. Olamma gasped. She knew him. He was always running around the village laughing, playing. But now he was dead. Her stomach twisted. The whispers returned, wrapping around her ears. "You have touched the necklace, and the curse has begun." Olamma stumbled back. She wanted to scream, but no sound came out. Had she done this? Had the curse already started? She didn't know. But deep in her heart, she felt the answer, and it terrified her. Olamma's breath came in short gasps. Her hands felt cold. Her legs trembled beneath her. She wanted to run, to scream, to wake up from what felt like a nightmare. But the body of Chetachi lay still in the square, and nightmares didn't feel this real. The villagers gathered around, whispering, "What happened? He was fine this morning. He just fell and stopped breathing."
Olamma clenched her fists. She wanted to speak, to tell someone about the necklace, but who would believe her? If she said she had touched a cursed necklace and now people were dying, they would call her mad. Her mother, Nwakaigo, pushed through the crowd and grabbed her hand. "Olamma, come home," she said, her voice firm. Olamma let her mother lead her away, but her mind was racing. She had to get rid of the necklace. That night, she lay awake, staring at the roof of the hut. The whispers had returned. "You cannot run from me. You are mine now." Olamma squeezed her eyes shut and covered her ears, but the voices curled around her like smoke. By midnight, she could not take it anymore. She slipped out of bed, careful not to wake her mother, and crept into the night.
The village was silent. Only the distant hoot of an owl and the chirping of crickets filled the air. She walked quickly, her heart thudding, until she reached Nena's hut. The door creaked as she pushed it open. The wooden box still sat on the stool, untouched. She picked up the necklace with shaking hands. It was heavier than before, as if it carried the weight of something unseen. Olamma wrapped it in a piece of cloth, holding it far from her body. She knew what she had to do. She had to get rid of it forever. Olamma clutched the wrapped necklace tightly as she hurried towards the forest. Her heart pounded so loudly she thought the whole village could hear it. She didn't know where she was going, only that she had to get far away. If she buried it deep enough, maybe the whispers would stop. Maybe the curse would end. The trees stood tall and silent, their shadows stretching in the moonlight. The air smelled of damp earth and fallen leaves. Olamma knelt near the base of an iroko tree and started digging with her bare hands. The soil was cold and rough, but she didn't stop. She dug and dug until the hole was deep enough. She unwrapped the necklace and stared at it one last time. The red jewel glowed softly, like an eye watching her. Her fingers trembled. "Throw it away," she told herself, but she couldn't move. The whispers grew louder. "You cannot leave me." Olamma squeezed her eyes shut and forced herself to drop the necklace into the hole. The ground shook beneath her. A sudden wind roared through the forest, bending the trees. A dark, chilling voice filled the air. "You think you can be free?" Olamma gasped. Her body felt heavy, her feet sinking into the earth as if the ground wanted to swallow her. She clawed at the soil, trying to stand, but her arms felt weak. Then, as quickly as it started, everything went still. The wind stopped. The forest was silent again. Olamma scrambled to her feet, her heart racing. She grabbed fistfuls of soil and shoved them into the hole, covering the necklace as fast as she could. When she was done, she stumbled back, breathing hard. It was over. She had buried it. The necklace was gone. But as she turned to leave, a sharp, cold laugh echoed through the trees. And deep beneath the soil, the red jewel pulsed once like a heartbeat. Olamma ran. She didn't look back. She didn't stop. She ran until she reached the edge of the village, her chest burning, her legs weak. The huts were dark. The night was silent. Everything looked the same, but Olamma felt different. She had buried the necklace. It was gone. So why did her skin still feel cold? Why did the whispers still echo in her ears?
She slipped into her mother's hut and lay down on her mat, wrapping herself around. "It's over," she whispered softly, but sleep refused to come. And when she finally drifted off, she dreamed. In her dream, she was standing in the middle of the village square. The sky above was red, the air thick with smoke. Around her, people lay still, lifeless. A woman stood in the distance, dressed in black, her long, thin fingers stretched toward Olamma. "You cannot escape me," the woman whispered. Olamma's body froze. The woman's face was hidden in shadows, but her voice sent a chill through Olamma's bones. "The curse is not broken." Olamma gasped and woke with a start. She sat up, panting, sweat dripping down her face. It was just a dream. Or was it? A cold wind blew through the hut, making the palm leaves on the roof rustle. And then, a soft, familiar glow. Olamma's blood turned to ice. There, lying beside her on the mat, was the necklace. She had buried it, but it had come back. Olamma's scream got stuck in her throat. Her body refused to move. The necklace lay beside her, its red jewel glowing faintly in the darkness. It looked untouched, clean, smooth, as if she had never buried it at all. Her hands trembled as she slowly reached for it. She didn't want to, but something pulled her toward it. The moment her fingers brushed against the beads, a freezing sensation rushed up her arm. A whisper curled around her ears. "You cannot get rid of me." Olamma snatched her hand away and jumped to her feet. This was not a dream. The necklace had returned. She wrapped it in a cloth again, her heart pounding. She had to do something stronger than just burying it. "Fire," she whispered. Fire could destroy anything. She grabbed a small clay pot filled with palm oil and a dry piece of wood. If she burnt the necklace, the curse would end. She rushed outside, her feet kicking up dust. The village was still asleep. The sky was just beginning to turn gray with the first light of dawn. Olamma reached the back of her mother's hut and placed the necklace on the ground. She struck 2 stones together, lighting the piece of wood. The small flame flickered, then grew. With shaking hands, she held it over the necklace. "Let this end," she whispered. The fire touched the beads. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a loud, piercing screech filled the air. The ground trembled. The flame shot up high, turning black as thick smoke curled into the sky. Olamma stumbled back, covering her ears. The scream wasn't coming from any person or animal. It was coming from the necklace itself. The red jewel pulsed wildly, like a heart beating too fast. Then, the fire went out. The smoke disappeared, and the necklace remained. Olamma's knees nearly gave way. The fire was gone, but the necklace was untouched. No burns, no cracks. It lay on the ground as perfect as before, its red jewel glowing softly, mocking her. Her breath came in short gasps. Even fire cannot destroy youth. The realization sent chills through her body. A sharp pain suddenly shot through her head. Olamma clutched her temples, groaning. The whispers had returned, louder, stronger. "You belong to me now." Her vision blurred. The world around her spun. Shadows danced at the edges of her sight, and for a moment, she thought she saw a figure standing in the darkness. A woman, the same woman from her dream. Long, thin fingers, a tall, dark figure wrapped in black cloth. Olamma blinked, and the figure was gone. Her heart pounded wildly. She picked up the necklace with shaky hands and threw it as hard as she could into the bushes. Then she ran. She ran back into the hut,
crawled onto a mat. Olamma curled up on her mat, shaking. She had tried to bury the necklace. She had tried to burn it, but it would not go away. The whispers had stopped, but the fear remained. She could not tell anyone. Who would believe her? If she spoke of cursed jewelry and shadowy figures, they would call her mad. For days, Olamma avoided the spots where she had thrown the necklace. She focused on her daily life, fetching water, pounding yam, helping her mother in the market. But no matter what she did, she felt it watching her. Then, one evening, as she was returning from the stream, she saw something that made her heart stop. A little girl, no older than 7, sat under a tree holding the necklace. Olamma's stomach twisted. No, not again. The girl, Akwaogo, turned the necklace in her hands, smiling. It's so pretty, she said. Olamma's breath caught in her throat. She had thrown it away. It had found another victim. Olamma rushed forward and snatched the necklace from the girl's hands. Akwaogo gasped. I found it, she protested. Olamma held the necklace tightly. Her heart pounded. The whispers were back, wrapping around her ears. You cannot save them all. She squeezed her eyes shut. No more. She had spent days trying to destroy the necklace, trying to escape it. But now she realized the truth. The necklace would never stop passing from hand to hand, bringing misfortune. Unless... Olamma took a deep breath and walked straight to the village square. People gathered, watching her curiously.
Olamma stood in the village square, holding the cursed necklace high above her head. The crowd murmured, their faces filled with fear and curiosity. The red jewel pulsed softly, as if alive. Olamma shouted, "This necklace is cursed. It brings misfortune to anyone who touches it. I tried to bury it. I tried to burn it, but it always returns." Gasps filled the air. The village elder, DK, stepped forward. "What do you mean, child?" Olamma turned to him, her voice firm. "I found it in Nena's hut. Ever since then, strange things have happened. Chetachi died suddenly. I hear whispers at night, and when I threw the necklace away, it came back." The villagers exchanged uneasy glances. The whispers of an old legend stirred in their minds. Then, from the back of the crowd, an old woman stepped forward. Her face was hidden beneath the dark hood, and her voice was like dry leaves rustling in the wind. "You should not have touched what was never yours." A cold shiver ran down Olamma's spine. "Who are you?" The woman pulled back her hood. Deep wrinkles lined her face, and her eyes were dark as the night sky. "I am the keeper of the necklace." The crowd gasped. Some took a step back. Olamma tightened her grip on the beads. "If you are its keeper, why has it caused so much pain?" The old woman's eyes locked onto Olamma's. "Because it was taken from me long ago. The necklace belongs to no ordinary person. It holds a spirit that punishes those who try to possess what is not theirs. It has wandered from hand to hand, bringing suffering. But now, it is time for it to return home. And if it doesn't, then the curse will never end." The villagers murmured in fear. Some urged Olamma to give it back. Others warned her to be careful. Olamma hesitated for only a moment. Then slowly, she stepped forward and placed the necklace into the woman's outstretched hands. The moment the beads touched her palm, a strong wind rushed through the village. The air grew thick with unseen power. The red jewel flickered once, twice.
then dimmed completely. The whispers stopped. The heaviness lifted. It was over.
The woman closed her fingers around the necklace and gave Olamma a long, knowing look. You have learned a great lesson, child. Some things in life are not meant to be possessed. Greed, fear, and selfishness brings suffering, but wisdom brings peace. Olamma bowed her head. I understand now. The woman nodded, then turned and walked away. No one stopped her. No one dared to ask where she was going. And as she disappeared into the forest, the villagers knew one thing for sure. The cursed necklace was never meant to belong to anyone. And now, it was finally where it belonged. In life, we often come across things that seem beautiful or tempting, but not everything is meant for us to possess. Whether it's material wealth, power, or even relationships, trying to control or claim what doesn't belong to us can lead to unforeseen consequences. Some desires, like the cursed necklace, may seem beautiful and harmless at first, but they bring nothing but pain and misfortune when we try to claim them as our own.
This story teaches us that greed, fear, and selfishness can cause pain, not only for ourselves, but for others. True wisdom comes when we learn to let go and allow things to find their rightful place. Embracing what we can control and releasing what we can't brings peace, while clinging to something that doesn't belong to us brings suffering. Some things are better left untouched. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do well to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment, and stay tuned for another thrilling story. Until next time, stay wise and stay peaceful.